everyone, my name is Sam. Thanks for checking out this video. If you get to the end and liked it, subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up video. As always, I wanted to tell you about the books that I read this month as a whole, just generally what I read, some spotlights, and then some generally mostly sarcastic lessons, thoughts, jokes, things that just popped into my brain, really. So in terms of months like this year, I actually didn't read as much. It's probably like middle to lower pack, just in numbers. And I also DNF'd 3 books this month. I went like 6 months or so without DNFing a book. So like this year I feel like I was really good at pinpointing books that I was going to be interested in reading. And sometimes, like, one of them, it was outside of my comfort realm anyways. I figured I'd give it a try, and it was a library book, so no harm, no foul. I tried it just didn't work out. But 2 of them were books that I thought I was going to like. So that's disappointing. So yeah, the books that I read this month were The Confessions of Franny Langdon by Sarah Collins, I think it was. Sorry, it was a library book. I don't have it here with me right now. American Royals by Catherine McGee. There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry. Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon by Mary Fan, and this was sadly a DNF. This was sadly a DNF. There we go. Kingdom of Souls by Raina Barron. Supernova by Marissa Meyer. The Even the Darkest Stars duology by Heather Fawcett. Book 1, Even the Darkest Stars. Book 2, All the Wandering Lights. Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hess. Light at the Bottom of the World by London Shaw. Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. The Queens of Renthia series, Book 1, The Queen of Blood. Book 2, The Reluctant Queen. Book 3, The Queen of Sorrow. And the spin-off / side novella thing, The Deepest Blue. Aurora Rising by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, which was kind of shockingly to me a DNF. The Charlotte Holmes Quartet, Book 1, A Study in Charlotte. Book 2, The Last of August. Book 3, The Case for Jamie. And Book 4, A Question of Holmes. I feel like I constantly mismatch these title words and just make my own title things with them. Don't know why. The Grand Dark by Richard Kadri, which was unfortunately a DNF. And lastly, 1,000 Fires by Shannon Price. I know that sounds like a lot, but I mean, when you look other months, I read 30 books some months. Like, I think I only actually finished 20 books. And even if I included the DNFs, because I think The Grand Dark, I read the mass chunk of it, over half of it, but still, like, I don't count that. So even then, like, I only read 22, 23 books if we included those. So it was a slower month for me. I think I just took my time with some of these books, and some of them were a bit bigger. So, you know, I took my time. I got some books done, and my main goal this month was to make sure I got the series done, which I did. So I'm really, really happy about that. So spotlight time. I will go, as always, from least to surprise to most favorite. Least favorite, it breaks my heart to say this, but 1,000 Fires by Shannon Price. I was so hyped for this book. I stand by the fact that the publisher did a really bad cover job on this. They did a really bad job changing it. It was originally called The Red Bridge Wars. It should have stayed called The Red Bridge Wars rather than 1,000 Fires. And I think it's just very much a product. It's a debut book, and it was quite obvious to me. It was one of, like, my most anticipated books, and then I saw the cover and went, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to pre-order that. I'll get it through the library instead. Which, honestly, I should have done anyways, because it's a debut work. I haven't read the author stuff before, and there was no pretty, like, under dust jacket or anything. The cover was to begin with. I still don't know why they didn't do something like Ink in the Blood, which comes out next year, that has, like, kind of a tattoo-y feeling, because it definitely should have had a tattoo, or something with spray paint, like more emblems or something. It was just very basic bitch. So unfortunately, yeah, there were a lot of issues with this, and it wasn't as dark and, like, gritty and, like, as I was hoping with the premise of, like, gang wars in San Francisco. So this unfortunately just didn't work for me. I'll watch for the author's other stuff. She has at least 1 book on contract right now that I will definitely pick up from the library. And, like, I just generally don't include DNFs in these rankings. I've said that before. It just feels weird to me to be like, I disliked you so much that I didn't finish reading you. Because it could have, like, fully come full circle at the end, and I just couldn't get myself to go to the end. So, of the books that I finished, 1,000 Fires. I think the most surprising one to me was The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place. I was excited when I got that, but I wasn't totally sure what I was in for. I just knew, like, I had a bunch of, like, oh, it's really super funny, and, like, I wasn't totally sure where it was going to go with it. And then it did this like kind of whole weekend at Bernie sort of situation, which is never a concept I thought of incorporating into middle grade literature. And it was a very pleasant surprise read, especially since I really just randomly heard of it 2 weeks before I grabbed the book from the library and read it that month. So this was a pleasant surprise. I've read one Julie Berry book before. Where's her? Did I own it? I don't think I even own it. I've read one Julie Berry book, right? Right? Or am I imagining that? Did I read it in October? What did I do in October? Why am I all of a sudden on a Julie Berry binge? Because I feel like I'm reading every book by her. I don't even know it's every book by her. Either way, The Scandal Sister of Brick Willow Place, I had never heard of it before. It was hilarious. I kind of really want my own copy of it now, because that's something I'm definitely going to reread every once in a while. It's just very fun, light, goofy, messed up concept, and it was a pleasant, wonderful surprise. I should put this back. What am I doing? For favorites this month, it was kind of hard, actually. I read a lot of good books, and even some books where I was like, the one that isn't on my most favorite, but it was like number 2 for surprises, was There Will Come a Darkness, because everyone I've talked to was like, I didn't like it, there's too much going on, and I read it and I was like, what are you guys talking about? I loved that book. So, like, I went in with these super low expectations and was like, no, y'all are wrong kind of mentality. But I read a lot of, like, really good books this month. I'm not including Supernova here because, honestly, Supernova doesn't need any more promo than it already has. And I also have a lesson about that is making me not put it here. We'll talk about that in a second. So I went through and was like, you know what? I feel like these 2 books, I'm not getting lower than these 2, really should get more, like, shout out because they were really good quality and they have amazing covers. Some people may disagree about the cover on one of these for me. They're wrong. Just acknowledge that you're wrong. And so, yeah, I think my 2 most favorite books, I honestly can't pick which is more in this situation. Number 1 being Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. I loved this so much. I also loved the, like, blurbing, when the book was originally sold, being, like, pitched to people, that it was, like, Hermione Granger meets, what's the dragon lady from Game of Thrones name? Daenerys, or is that someone else? I know who Arya is, and that's about it in that show. I think it's Daenerys, the white-haired dragon lady who goes crazy at the end. Yeah, I like that they were, like, these 2 characters, and there's, like, honestly, not a lot of, like, action happens, but so much happens in this book, you know what I mean? It has really consistent pacing. I was incredibly impressed for a debut work. I like this cover. I don't know, like, my friend Melanie Parker was like, oh my, not Mel to the N-E, Melanie Parker from the TBRBL group. They both have the same name, it's confusing. She said, like, she really disliked this cover. I think she's wrong. I really like this cover. I'm waiting to see it on sale somewhere so I can grab it. I wish they would have done, like, some dragon stuff or something underneath the dust jacket, but they didn't. But I was incredibly impressed by this. I love dragons. And I'm really excited to see where the rest of the series go. And just follow this author. I was incredibly impressed for a debut work. Incredibly, incredibly impressed. And I mean, I feel like I read a book this month, too, like Kingdom of Souls, which I enjoyed that one, but there was so much issue with pacing in that book. And again, debut author, and had this really promising premise, and then I feel like this kind of, like, even, like, kind of exceeded my expectations, where Kingdom of Souls, I was like, I wanted to love this more, kind of thing, you know? So, I loved this, and I cannot wait to read the sequel. Actually, same thing to Kingdom of Souls. I will definitely read the sequel to Kingdom of Souls, but, yeah. And my other favorite book of the month was The Light at the Bottom of the World by London Shaw. I was already super hyped for this book. The cover got revealed, and I was like, ah! And that was an exact noise, by the way. 100% accurate. I don't know if you can tell in, like, person, but it's hella pretty. And then the under dust jacket is purple. And it's just really, really beautifully, beautifully designed. I liked the blue, too, because of the water. The color scheme of this is just, like, all for my aesthetics. Like, that's just me. And then the author was super sweet and DM'd me on Instagram, was like, could I use your really pretty picture of my book to host a giveaway? And I was like, yeah, sure. All right. Go ahead for it. Have at it. I loved this book so much. If you've ever met me in the last, like, I don't know, year and a half or so, I've been wanting a book set in Atlantis, and authors just aren't giving me that. So this isn't necessarily set in Atlantis, but it's the underworld, and it's not a Little Mermaid retelling, okay? That is like a diamond. Like, that just doesn't exist right now. So I was like, okay. And it kind of, like, filled that need that I've been like, give me Atlantis. Set it in Atlantis. Is this book set in Atlantis? No, it's not set in Atlantis. Every time I read of a new book being sold, I'm like, is it set in Atlantis? Is it underwater? Well, please give me an underwater. Set a damn book in Atlantis, people. Do you want it's like one of the first 3 movies I watched once I got Disney Plus. First one was Princess Diaries, then the second Princess Diaries, where Chris Pine was pre-famous hot, which is still inexplicably hot, and then Atlantis, and then I watched Treasure Island, I think. Anyways, give me a book set in Atlantis, okay? So this was really cool. It had all these other elements with like a jailbreak and a government conspiracy and a submarine race. It was really cool. I loved it. It had just a lot of really, really good elements. Again, a lot of pitfalls for a debut author that could have possibly been fallen into with the pacing and everything, because it does jump from submarine race, government conspiracy, running away, weird like web-feedy government creatures, and then a jailbreak. And it didn't, I didn't feel like any boredom or anything like that. I liked the kind of romancy. I liked all the characters. There was just a lot of pluses across the board on this. I cannot wait for the sequel. And I just found out today too, apparently the audiobook for this is on Spotify. I didn't know Spotify had audiobooks, to be totally honest. But if you're interested in it, the audiobook's on Spotify, and I also listened along with the audiobook. I really enjoyed the audiobook narration. So, highly recommend this book so much. Also, it's so damn pretty. So pretty. So borrow it from the library just to see it and touch in person, or buy it from your local bookstores. Or Amazon. No, don't buy it from him. I shouldn't say that. Amazon's kind of the devil, but we all use Amazon. So, yeah, just... Also, follow Lynn Shaw on Instagram, because she does this thing on her Instagram stories like every day. She's inexplicably pretty, but then she does this thing where she takes a random book cover and then is like, this is what the book is, and then makes shows like an outfit version of that with like colors or like certain patterns. She did one for Wilder Girls the other day that was amazing. She did one for not Dark of the East, Dark of the West, the sequel to Dark of East, West, the books by Joanna. The name is totally blanking from my mind. She did that one today. It was so freaking pretty. I just follow her Instagram just to look at that pretty outfits too. It's just, I don't know how she has that much clothing. Also, just read The Light at the Bottom of the World. I need to talk to more people about that book. Alright, lessons. Lesson time. Listen, class. No, I'm not doing that. It's come to my attention this month. No, that's not true. I've always kind of thought this, but I never paid attention when I was doing it. But finishing a series is more satisfying than finishing each book in a series individually. You know what I mean? Like, I would finish A Study in Charlotte, and I was like, awesome, high five, you finished a book. And then I read book 2, and I did the same thing. Same with 3 and same with 4. I got to the end of 4, and I was like, oh, congratulations, you finished that book. And I got to, realize of, oh my god, I finished it, and I lost my damn mind. I've never, I don't know why I wouldn't congratulate myself, being like, oh my god, you finished the 4th book, oh my god, that's amazing. I did the same thing with the Queens of Renthia series. I congratulated myself on finishing the book, each of the 4 books, and then sat down for 3 days and was like, oh my god, I finished the series. I don't know why I disconnect that, but there's so much more excitement of finishing that versus finishing the books individually. I don't understand that. I don't even know if I explained that correctly. I have a flawed mentality. Don't question it, okay? Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon and Even the Darkest Stars this month taught me that narration can really ruin things for you. Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon, I just flat out DNF'd it. I was just reading it, was not having the best of time, and then I added the audiobook narration to it, and that just bombed. It was just really bad. And, it's the same narrator that I'm having issues with, but she seems to be doing an awful lot of YA books, which is infuriating the crap out of me. But then I was like, okay, if I can separate things. I read Even the Darker Stars when it first came out. The audiobooks, just came out for it, 2 years after the books came out. So I was like, alright, I'll try out the audiobooks. Don't do that. It's bad. Don't do that. Only read Even the Darker Stars without the narration. And I have to, I feel like in the next few months go back and read that series without the audiobooks, because it kind of ruined my love of the series the original time I read it without the audiobook. So, narrators can make or break. Publishers, please take note of that when you're spending this money and then gouging readers and libraries for more money for audiobooks. Please do half-decent jobs of narration. Please. I mean, I know some of this is subjective, but then there's other ones who are like, no, this was just badly done. The light at the bottom of the world reminded me that this is your monthly reminder that to all authors, you need to write a book set in Atlantis. Okay? Okay, we're on to the supernova lesson. Am I the only person who feels like it's kind of weird to kind of rip off your own series covers in sequels? Like, that's just, I mean, I don't understand this whole thing of, like, cover continuity with a theme. That makes sense. But literally, Renegades and Supernova are almost the same covers and spines. Like, the cover's a little bit different, but the spine is like a rip-off of it. I don't think I've ever seen a series do that before. Kind of rip off its own covers to put it on a sequel. I especially for an author that you're like, hire a proper artist and do covers. Like, this is Marissa Meyer. You're gonna sell. This is gonna sell. I don't understand this concept. I don't know what happened for book 1. Basically just this. And then book 2 was red. And you're like, awesome, cool. And they still incorporate the same color schemes. And then book 3, they're like, oh no, we just forgot, apparently, to change a bunch of the stuff. Let's just, yeah. I almost wonder if this is like a backup to Renegades. And then they ended up picking something else. And they were like, oh, fuck, we forgot to make a new cover. Let's put it's just a very weird idea to kind of rip off your own covers. You know what I mean? American Royals made me realize maybe I have, like, ego issues. Because I feel like I suddenly become famous when a fictional character in a book has my same first name. I know there's some flawed logic to that. But I literally was so excited for myself when there was a character named Samantha in American Royals. She's literally not even a main character, and she's kind of just, like, the forgotten middle child, really. But, like, I felt really proud of myself for no reason. The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place is just another reminder that I wish boarding schools were a more common thing nowadays so we could have a weekend at Bernie's sort of moment. I just feel like it would be interesting. I just want you all to know that I 100% disagree with all of the criticism I've seen of There Will Come a Darkness. It was really good. I don't know where the sudden issues with it came, because it's really like a pretty, I don't mean this in a negative way, it's a pretty basic YA fantasy. I don't feel like it's like anything out of left field. So I don't know why people suddenly had issues with multiple character POVs and everything. Anyways, you're all wrong. You should read it. I also kind of need you all to read it because it was an expensive book. I mean, I bought it when I was on sale for like $10 off, but like, I can't deal with the mid-series cover change on this series. Just by the fact that they wanted me to spend $27 or something, $28, $27.99, whatever it was, on a YA book. And then they're going to do a mid-series cover change so they won't match. And final thought, I think I've come to the conclusion that mysteries in World War II era, doesn't matter what geography, are like immediately 10 times more interesting and more mysterious when they're set during World War II time period. I don't know why that is. It just is. That is just facts. So that was my weird, incoherent, rambling thoughts. That was, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes long, let's say, based on my past videos. Yeah. Just, read The Light at the Bottom of the World. I really need to talk to people about that book. I feel like I know a fair amount of people that have actually bought it, but like none of them have read it yet. So I'm gonna go like full Veronica Speedwell and start bugging the crap out of people to read it until everyone starts reading it. And I say that, and I've gotten so many people to read A Curious Beginning in the light. That's the thing. If you guys didn't actually follow through on when I talked about books, and I was like, I need you to read it, and then if no one read it, I'd stop it. But I've said that, and then people just fell down the Veronica Speedwell rabbit hole, and I was like, well, I guess I have to keep doing that about every series I'm super interested in. Oh, maybe that's an idea. At the end of the year, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should do like a wrap-up video of like top 10 or 19, because it's 2019 or whatever, favorites. But I'm kind of now of like, maybe I should do like my top like books or series I need everyone to read in 2020 or something like that. Or maybe I should do both of those. I don't know. I should start organizing my brain. Anyways, I will link these books in the description box down below. I will also link all of my social media. If you follow me, I will follow you back. Also follow London Chuck because she makes really pretty book outfits on her Instagram. And read At the Light at the Bottom of the World, please.